Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. Me, host Imperial Dane here. We're off to a 1 vs 1 on River Crossing. It's Neat River Crossing. We shall be watching Sturmtiger Sagesix here fighting for the 1st Guards Mechanized Corps versus Godisanastronaut fighting here for Germany, for the Reich, the Oberkommando West and the Speerverband Reinhardt. Sturmpioneer starting out here. Sturmtiger Sagesix are moving out with a bit of discussion, noting 2 combat engineers start, likely a specified command then following up. Volksgrenadiere advancing.
Combat engineers are standing by.
Starting out with a bit of that. Though generally, I mean, if you are finding so, I do suspect them going for some armoured cars. I mean, starting out with 2 Sturmpioneers, at least getting 2 Sturmpioneer squads right away or quickly is not a bad idea, usually when you follow up with a Raketenwerfer. But so far, no sign of that. In fact, all of the combat engineers are actually moving out to secure territory. Forces moving out there, moving straight for the fuel point as well over there. Clearly, both players there are debating things rather aggressively. Rather aggressively. Second country squad there out then. Though we do see one country squad retreating. Though still, I would have figured he'd go for the special rifle command faster than this. In the end, though, he did not. Truck here not moving about. Noting a second Volksgrenadier squad there. So far, it's actually spread out rather far. Bit of a dangerous thing, particularly if left Sturmpioneers on their own. But so far, they're facing only combat units, which give the Sturmpioneer here the advantage for Deutschland. Crossing through the river and flying right there with their assault rifles. They're trying to retreat so far, not might need to cover, but even then they'll have to retreat in the end. And they go going straight for the cut-off point, very bold, aggressive move there from Sturmtiger Sagesix, charging straight in. Sandbag precision going up here, the Reducing Volksgrenadier squad attacking soon. And there we go, we need to follow up with scout cars as soon as the special rifle command is up here. Concepts holding up, Volksgrenadier moving up close. Sadly, they were not able to finish. In fact, he should probably pull up to some actual cover here instead of remaining here. In which case, the Volksgrenadiers will, due to the light cover, actually win out. Or somehow this doesn't actually cover. Somehow they're still having a hard time actually doing something. So maybe it has some kind of effect. I'm not entirely sure. The Volksgrenadiers there simply should have been decimating the consequence, though that didn't quite happen. Surprisingly enough, they do see a counter-attack force in the back there, but even then, delays the fuel income noticeably, and Volksgrenadiers hitting up precision at the shorter side of the building where there's only one window where they can definitely get advantage over the counters. Scout car though rushing ahead. No units inside it, no flamethrowers available so far then for Sagesix 6, otherwise that could definitely have been very profitable to charge in versus Volksgrenadiers and just basically burn and kill. Quick mine here could be good. Response.
We have a new scout car at our disposal.
Conscripts are beginning to not feel very well. They're low on health, low on numbers, and there we go. Scout car charging in the 50 caliber, raking away, and we do see the Volksgrenadiers beat a very hasty retreat. Ultimately seeing the fuel pond nest, the other one is ultimately secured here by combat engineers. Volksgrenadiers counter-attacking, and there we go. Sturmpioneers holding off the scout car here, doing a nice bit of damage, but even then out in the open, in fact they pull out into the open, they are pushed away rather rapidly there by the scout car. And noting here a mechanized regiment headquarters up for Godisanastronaut. No sign of Raketenwerfer so far. And there you go, Volksgrenadiers coming to fire here. The scout car slowly advancing. American Lend-Lease vehicle. Usually a part of advanced reconnaissance formations and such. Second one moving up as well. Observing secured. There we go, mechanized regiment headquarters is finished. Looks like he's going for full Volksgrenadiers. That's a bit rarer to see. A bit lacking in some regards. Of course, he will actually have more infantry, but at the same time, the scout carriers are doing quite a bit of damage. So there's a bit of a questionable logic behind it. Though I don't know it, which certainly makes it only the more questionable. There we go, country pushed away, counter-attack through the centre, but again, both fuel points are now Russian. This is hardly good or aspiring here for Godisanastronaut. He needs something here to break out. Nothing but with the armoured assault terror tactics. Got motor box standard commanders for Godisanastronaut. He's got no drop commanders, or he hasn't bothered with them. Sturm Pioneer shifting away again. Looks like some upgrades on the way, like their Panzer Strike to try and deal with the scout cars, though Academy tends to be a neater choice. In particular, since it also veterans up faster, thus meaning you can use this to sort of get a slight advantage there versus any early armour as well. And Tony currently, Sturm Tiger Sagesix is very much on the path towards that with 2 fuel points. And there you go, it's like Ketten Panzerfuchs up there for the Volksgrenadiere. Reloading. The scout car here already been pulled away, and lots of flamethrowers up there, creating 2 flame wagons there to burn their way through the Hitlerites. No commander choice yet. A bit short in units here. He's got a bit of resources floating there, not an awful lot. And mines up there, that's good. In particular, if Godisanastronaut does not discover there, go move towards here, he could consider some mines himself if he had the resources. He could also consider actually laying down some barbed wire here to deny cover to the opponent, to Sagesix troops. Resorting a bit here to more horde-ish tactics. Bit of a sad development there from Godisanastronaut. I suppose he wants something out of those Volksgrenadiers one way or the other. Though honestly the effect is a bit limited. Sturm Pioneers fighting conscripts and guards. Infantry guards motor has been chosen here as a choice of commander for Sagesix, and we're noting a half track, and there we go. The Puma Schwerer Panzerspeerwagen. Reasonably common choice, can certainly help him versus the scout cars on a bit of light armored tank, then also have a better chance of actually hunting them down. They certainly have a harder time escaping from the Puma. The course effectiveness versus the infantry were a bit limited, certainly versus the guard infantry could run into a bit of problem. There we go. M301 coming in further than Puma. 15-minute gun first shot misses, second one misses as well. Come on, Reinhardt, you can shoot, don't miss. There we go, finally up point blank there, and the scout car is finally down there. Machine gun fire finished off the job. Scout car down here doing a bit of work as well. Volksgrenadier seems to be taking some rather heavy casualties. No, it's Panzerfusiliers up. Panzerfusilier breakthrough has been chosen. Already looks like their one unit was horribly wiped out already, by the looks of it. Not a good start there for Godisanastronaut, but now with the Puma he's managed to wipe out 2 of the scout cars, which is then overall mixed stage of the 6 a lot less mobile, which should give him a bit better chance of sort of picking fights and winning them. So slight combat that way. DP's on the way, and there we go, another Panzerfusilier unit. Moving out here. Advancing in numbers. Puma roaming about here, though of course I'm a bit of a limited time with the infantry. Needs to be careful so he doesn't get hit with an anti-tank grenade. There's so far no sign of an upgrade from Sagesix in that regard. There you go, guards infantry. Grenades failed to make much of an impression there. And the anti-tank rifles failed to hit as well. There you go, quick hoorah. Might have been hoping to fool him into thinking there was an anti-tank grenade. Seems like it did it. He took a very, very long route away. And there you go again, another retreat there. He might even figure they might have Molotovs. Either way, a bit of mind games there from Sagesix at the scene, and well executed if that is the case. Second guards rifle infantry, that should definitely make things a bit tricky here for the Puma with their anti-tank rifles. Regaining the fuel point on the west. There are a lot of mines here, so he needs to be careful. I mean, one wrong step and, well, that happens. Now in this case there was one fortunate survivor, Dieter. Covered in bits of Jürgen. And there you go, battle group headquarters up here. Infantry mobilizing once more, and a small counter-attack up to the center. Mine cancelled there. Probably not a bad idea, the spice was rather spoiled. Now these countries will have to retreat here, taking quite a bit of fight for the Panzerfusiliers and the Sturm Pioneer. We're moving up here. Same gun, by the way, as the one on the Panzer III, or at least the later models of the 15mm gun. Council taking a bit of a beating here. Usually the Sagesix realizes this is a bad situation, retreats, and tank group trying to command up. In fact, he's also minutes away from getting a T-34-76, and that could definitely cause a bit of a headache then following up here for Godisanastronaut. Although his Puma and his Falconers might be able to do a bit of damage in the end, though. It's going to be a bit limited. There you go, another mine went off, blowing up Helmut's feet. Guards in full guards, the Falconers leading an assault. Guards infantry continues to hold up here, making things a bit more difficult for Godisanastronaut. Falconers, oh, in fact, two Godisanastronaut. Quick grenade here, quickly vacating the farm building. Damage, more or less nothing. He actually does not get back into the building, but take up a position here near the side, and has a slight advantage on the looks. So really doing a damage to the Falconers, but then in the end, grenade there fails to make much of an impression on the Falconers. Puma continues to prowl around like a big fat tomcat. And there you go, finally lure in here. He does beat a very brave retreat, ensuring that Puma can't pursue, though again not really the best of pursuing units. Panzerfusilier versus conscripts. Panzerfusiliers do seem to have the advantage here. Other than the conscripts gain victory too. More Panzerfusiliers ramming. No Sturmoffizier, by the way. He could consider that for a small boost here. And then the guards will be remaining in here, seemingly very much establishing a blockhouse, not intending anything to pass, but at the same time, oh, nice cut off there by Godisanastronaut. Engineers leading assault here. Puma, as usual, failing to make much of an impression, except there Dimitri goes down to the machine gun, the coaxial machine gun. Again, another assault here versus the guards infantry. Losses inflicted. DP's flying through the windows. Well, there goes. The Falconers are finally making some progress. Although a lot of them are on the wrong side of the cover. Bottom thing there to note. And there goes. Like the comments could go down here. Puma and Panzerfusiliers doing their best. Or worst, depending on your perspective. And there you go. Commies got wiped out. Conscripts guards are not looking too good here. And seems like he's not doing much. In fact, he's trading fuel for munitions. It would seem like he's very intent on playing for a very infantry-heavy strategy. And certainly there are some Oberkommando West players who've gone for a very Panzerfusilier-heavy strategy with a few Volksguns. Generally, I mean, he's gone a bit the opposite way. Heavy on Volksguns, lesser on Panzerfusiliers. I suppose one idea is he's going to be going for a lot of grenades, but also a lot of Panzer strikes up for his infantry, that way trying to deal with the armor alongside the Puma. Generally, though, you'd find most players in this kind of situation, if they do go for Panzerfusiliers in any sort of large degree, they will go for the upgrade, the G43 package. And there you go, tank is out, and currently the situation for Godisanastronaut is he's not quite well prepared for that. He's taking quite a bit of damage there. Puma moving up, firing away, fails to penetrate there. And the 50mm gun, there's the Puma Sport's ineffectiveness versus T-34. So actually the reason it was the Panzerfusilier was ultimately put up because they simply couldn't mount a bigger and more effective gun except a Star P75. In the end, that wasn't really effective either. And as in the end, old Panzerfleet production was more or less switched over towards Stu 3D production. But T-34 getting off 4 kills. Good job. Puma moving up. Ooh, a bit too close there. The terrain rather forcing the Puma to get close, and there you go. Nasty hit. Puma already down to less than half health, but he does have extra one, thus aim shot.
Anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
So right here the Sperrverbande runs into a slight headache. Puma missing repairs. He could consider an infantry gun maybe. Add a bit of artillery, and there you go. Ooh, nice hit there from the T-34. Wiping out almost behind Sturmpionier, and there you go down to one Sturmpionier. Sagesix rather having a nice grasp of the battlefield. T-34 pulling back largely unscathed on top of everything. But right now struggling a bit here. I mean, the overall strategy, I mean, you can imagine it can I suppose be effective, but at the same time it's probably not the most effective, the most viable. Again, currently would really just say, you know, Schwerer Panzer headquarters play for that, get some Obersoldat now and then follow up with a Panther. And right now, in fact, the way he's playing here is in fact putting him the furthest away from that. He's really pretty much gambling everything on holding infantry in, maybe with a bit of a Kenwer for support, and then the Puma to sort of cause a bit of havoc. And there you go, finally T-34 takes a bit of a nasty hit, but there you go, Veterans one as well. T-34 will have to pull back for the time being, Comics they're close to getting wiped out as well. That was a bit unfortunate. Falconers here versus guards infantry and a counter support, and they are taking quite punishing damage. Falconers are going for the fuel point as well. Overall, we do see that Sagesix is still maintaining a solid grasp on the field points overall that way, dominating, also very nice to note. both do have some sandbags here, which are all benefiting, showing his opponent can't hold it, but at the same time showing he can hold it while being in heavy cover. So it's a nice job. Oh! Fragmentation grenade and nasty hit there. Really taking the light out of those false gunners, leaving Godisanastronaut's men a bit wobbly. And time for the mid-game analysis. A bit of a shorter match this, but overall still has some interesting points to point out, which is rather why we do the Propagandacast, at least I do. But either way, we're seeing here a very large, massive infantry force here, a bit rare to see from the other command west, at least that we've seen on the channel. It does get played a bit, and again, it's very much then centered around Breakthrough and Panzer Fusiliers, though in an interesting development, Godisanastronaut so far has rather been heavy on the Volksgunners. Again, they're not the most effective infantry, at least in my opinion, and the Panzer Fusiliers are rather sort of a minority. I mean, he's likely going to play more for Panzerschrecks, and I'm not entirely convinced that's going to be a fully effective idea. It's certainly not going to be a cost-effective idea. I mean, you know, if he's going to sort of get, say, the same complement of Panzerschrecks as, say, 2 Panzer squad, he's going to have to pay at least 50% more for it. And certainly for the same price of, say, having all 4 squads decked out, you can have 3 Panzer squads with 6 Panzerschrecks. So, not cost-effective in some regards. And not really necessarily also effective in sort of bringing down tanks to a certain extent. I mean, personally, I think, you know, he could upgrade some of these Panzer Fusiliers with Gewehr for the fleets, but he really should either opt for more Raketenwerfer if he really wants to lay down a more heavy anti-tank rocket fire rather than Panzerschrecks. And in the end, he should go for the Speer Panther headquarters, aim for the Panthers, human these fast as possible, maybe with a few Obersoldaten to provide a bit of cover, maybe a Sturmoffizier to also provide a bit of benefit in that regard, and basically shift from munitions to fuel rather than fuel to munitions. That I think would give him a overall solid strategy in the longer term. Also, note he's basically running from place to place overall. You see here that Sturmtiger Sagesix is sort of playing this fight more to his advantage. I mean, we do see some larger pushes, but overall, what Sagesix then does is basically part ways, yield, and then go for the rest of the map instead. So overall, here Sagesix playing a very solid strategy so far versus Godisanastronaut, despite Godisanastronaut having a much larger infantry force again, due to the Volksgunners, they're not really good at sort of controlling the map. And overall, he doesn't really have a lot of units that can sort of help with that. There's a slight issue there, in particular with the Guards infantry, the DPs and PTRS also providing a few issues. As for what Sagesix could consider, I mean, sort of look in terms of damage and kills, they're very equal, in fact almost equal kills. But for Sagesix, I mean, he could play for some T-3045s. I mean, he's almost halfway there in terms of fuel. It could work out, though it might be a bit risky, though if worse comes to worse, I mean, he can always get a more regular T-3476s, and that way bashes in. I mean, currently Godisanastronaut would certainly also be vulnerable to a pair of, I mean, a tree of T-3476s steamrolling their way through. The difference between that and the T-3045s would be essentially the T-3045s would be able to absorb more punishment, though, and that could certainly make things more difficult for the Puma, but also say like for any infantry or any armor he might bring up, though. Again, the current look of the strategy is very much infantry focused, little armor, and in that regard a bit vulnerable. That is something to keep in mind. I mean, if he's also going to play for it, he really should consider some mines here and there to sort of try and limit his opponent's mobility in terms of armor, because that's really going to be one of the advantages of Sage of the Six. The more mobile he can stay and keep outmaneuvering Godisanastronaut, the better for him. Back here to Godisanastronaut and back to the fight. Infantry pushing in. Holding up there, T-34 rolling back, good for some repairs there. And then you got minor counterattack going in towards the west. There we go, conscripts on the run. While they continue to have heavy cover, Puma having a very large difficulty in actually dealing with such an ensconced force.
Ready.
Another Panzerschreck on the way, that's 2. But as you might be noticing, it's rather having a little effect at the moment. Once arriving, T-34 ready to move up somewhat. Actually, he's not even fully repaired, but looks like Sturmtiger Sagesix being rather confident in his ability to sort of push back the opponent. There you go, T-34 opening up there, getting a few kills on the Panzer Fusiliers, and them running. Puma ineffectually firing away. having as always a few issues there, and he seems very confident he can actually hold the guards through here. And I mean, he might be able to do so, though at the same time, in a solid series assault with some units here set cut off in the retreat path could be very ugly then for Sagesix, so it's not fully foolproof.
Reconnaissance-wagen under fire! Panzer Fusiliers assigned to the front.
But certainly with that ammunition he's getting, I mean, he could essentially get a Panzerschreck every second minute. And same with the Gewehr 43s. So far he's expending a ton of munition towards grenades, which is rather slowing down the process for getting those upgrades, which might prove more beneficial in the longer run. Another Panzer Fusilier unit out. I mean, we're seeing a ton of infantry out here for Godisanastronaut, but even then he's sort of slightly struggling here. In fact, he's probably got currently here a much higher range of infantry, though we also not just say Sagesix has got plenty as well now. Still, massive intercourse here clashing. Quite a few headaches. Nice Molotov here, and the Volkswagen simply burst into flames. Standing no chance there of survival, it would seem once more, in fact, close to total annihilation. But really a nasty infantry engagement here. We see several squads there pushing across the river, but ultimately they take quite a bit of damage in the T-34, really laying down some vicious fire. More grenades off. He's still not trying to save up resources for any upgrades for those Panzer positions, which would definitely benefit him with some Gewehr for the fit. In fact, he's got enough missions for it right now, and especially 2 would benefit from it greatly. No, again, I suspect we will. No, he went for a grenade, it would seem. Another bit of explosives there. Puma here firing away. Point here being secured. Nice hit with the Puma. T-34 begins doing repairs. No one to pull it back. There we go. Generally, you should always be careful about repairing close to the front line. But there we go, a small bit of retreat there for the Puma schwerer Panzerspielwagen. Small forwarding there. Constantly shifting large forces back between the base and elsewhere. Lots of munitions here again. Recon package. Nope, another Panzerschreck. He's very worried about armour, though seems to be neglecting the opportunity to really apply more pressure to Sturmtiger Sagesix's infantry, which is always something you also want to do at the same time, and certainly the Puma cannot do that at all. Please continue to pour towards armour, anti-tank weaponry, and we're noting a heavy mortar as well. But at least, I mean, he's now sort of getting more of the map back, but he's still having a hard time controlling the field point. He's not establishing much of an effective defence, to be honest. Well, there we go, binding up, anti-tank rifle shots there, connecting with the front line here, the Puma, forcing that away. And the large unit shot going in here, Panzer Forces and Volkswagen is charging across. Guards will be getting more use of the sandbags here, making good use of that, trying to make it harder for Godisanastronaut to just push through. There you go, grenade off. Guards infantry will have to retreat here. They can't keep this up forever without support. And they have definitely been cut off from any immediate support here. And there we go, Guards infantry retreating. Puma once more pulling back for some immediate repairs. The Guards infantry here still holding that fuel point. Looks like he's finally able to gain the right hand side fuel. We see a large assault being launched. Flanking from both sides, grenades going off. Go, another grenade. Apparently he'd bucked up, by the way, that did not happen. Back to Sturmtiger Sagesix. He's very close then to actually calling the T-35, so just needs a bit of manpower, and he can sort of begin steamrolling his opponent. We do see some veteran 4 here, but you also see veteran 2, meaning he has a higher rate of fire, which means he's going to be further lethal towards infantry. So far the heavy mortar, though, is not landing much of any serious strikes upon Godisanastronaut Soldaten. Bit of risky assault here, charging across negative terrain. In fact, standing out in it. And there go the T-34 for the rescue, coming in as well. That should be able to turn things around here. Another assault versus the Guards Infantry now gaining veterans. Free. We do see the punches taking heavy damage, and they've got grenade off, but lands a bit short. Lands a bit short. Spare for Bandit though, struggling more and more. The Puma, in the end, not really landing much damage upon Sagesix troops. And there you go in the end, the single assault there from the Panzer Forces failed versus the most veteran Guards Infantry with DPs. Really should have sent in another sport there to support, and he might actually be able to overwhelm the Guards Infantry. Instead, though, he failed. And he's still trading fuel for munitions. Hardly a surprising effective measure either. And oh, he's constantly merging the squad so he doesn't have to retreat the Guards Infantry. Not bad thinking there, though in the end everybody here is a bit wounded. Could do with a band-aid and a bottle of vodka. But so far the infantry strategy from Godisanastronaut continues unabated. No attempt to even switch towards armor, but again, you know, he's not upgrading the Panzer Fusiliers, and very much this kind of strategy, which is heavy on Panzer Fusiliers, involves upgrading them with Gewehr 43s. There's a bit of a flaw there from Godisanastronaut. T-34 moving here. Another nasty hit there versus the Puma. Panzer as well, that might force the T-34. There you go. Aim strike! Jamming the turret reversal. It seems like the Puma was a bit too slow there to actually hit the pursuit. And the T-34 in fact might be able to escape a grim note here. Ha!
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Either way, he should be able to initiate vehicle crew self-repairs. There we go. Not. Apparently nothing happened. Might have been bugged out a bit, I don't know. But Guards Infantry looks like they almost got wiped out there. Only one man escapes. Godisanastronaut making a bit of progress there. But in the end, I mean, this Volkswagen heavy force at the moment is simply struggling versus the infantry lighter force here of Sagesix. Heavy mortar beginning to do a bit of damage, and there goes self-repairs up on the T-34. He should be careful about blowing around like that in front of him. Morton, there you go, the T-34s. T-34, 785s, and there we go. Now things are about to get really ugly here for Godisanastronaut. T-34 firing at 85mm high explosive shells, tearing into the ranks of Germans. Veterans E5, but almost wiped out already. And the T-35s are lightly scratched, if anything. Puma Academy here fighting. There you go, another vicious volley there. T-34, 76 joints in, closing in veteran 3, and an even higher rate of fire. Promising to be further bad news for Godisanastronaut. And there you go, nasty at them, wiping up more Panzer Fusiliers. As the armoured fist of Stalin pours across the map. The struggle of the Oberkommando West is very much real here. Panzer Fusiliers moving up, Panzer as well. Bit dangerous here to move in front of a tank like that, to be honest. Oh, climbed up and wiped out.
T-34 85 tanks are now ready for use. Use them to crush the Huns.
Apparently there seems to be some issue of disbelief on Godisanastronaut's part in the face of this.
We have it. We are awaiting orders.
Rocket flies, rocket connects with us and end up forcing back that T-34. That was close there. Puma fires off. I can't know if he reaches Veteran 1. T-35 ends up taking quite a bit of damage. Veteran 5 for another Volkswagen unit. Still quite the struggle going on here. And there go one unit. Oh, Veterans 5 for these Panzer Fusiliers. Too bad they're down to one man named Helmut. But overall, having a very hard time containing this one. Now we go Veterans 3 for the T-34-76, making more mobile, but again, promising an even higher rate of fire. And there you go, the Panzer Fusiliers simply getting murdered here. I mean, this is basically turning into a mass grave. So many Panzer Fusiliers dead or dying. And there you go, GG. GG. The battle has rather failed here for the Sperrverbande. The battle has failed. And, well, they are actually beatable as the Oberkommando West. It just requires, you know, and not relying on the Panzerschreck. Might as well speed up here. And there we go, game over. A bit of a lesson here, mostly, you know, what not to do as the Oberkommando West. Again, we saw a bit, you know, the Panzer spam, and again, we also sort of analysed the problems with it to a certain extent. Though in this case, I mean, he rather went in the opposite direction you'd see most players go for, which definitely hurt. I mean, ultimately, he didn't manage to make much of the commander, and certainly just playing for the infantry at the moment, particularly with the Volksgrenadiers, is a very not recommendable idea. I mean, you really won't get that far. Overall, we saw problems with controlling the map and holding down the fuel points, which overall really only played into the hands of Sage of the 6, a lack of trading off fuel, and again, he really should have opted for something else. And even the Puma, to a certain extent, while able to sort of keep the T-34 a bit away in the end, rather failed, you know, not to make an impression. I mean, compared with the T-34, 25 kills, Veterans 3, the Puma, 12 kills, Veterans 2. Not quite the same, they're not quite the same effect, despite the Puma being out for some noticeably longer time. I mean, really, again, the sort of most valid strategy I would suggest, again, with the Oberkommando West, is basically aiming for a Panther as humanly possible, and then taking it from there, augmenting with a few other infantry call-ins. But overall, beyond that, I mean, just that other units simply aren't worth it. But overall, I mean, even then, I mean, you know, he could have done things better. I mean, overall, there were a few Academy efforts he probably should have invested more in than the Panzerschrecks. The Panzerschrecks really are not a sort of good, cost-effective, mass-reliant weapon. It's not something you can rely on to sort of be your main anti-tank force. And then that rather held back Godisanastronaut quite a bit, and overall make things easier for Sage of the 6. So Sage of the 6 was a bit risky in trying to sort of play on just the T1 T-34-76 and then T-35s. Had things gone a bit differently, he might not have been able to go for it quite so well. Guards infantry certainly turned out to be quite a strong investment there with the DPs, and in heavy cover from those conscripts, they were actually able to see off a lot of assaults, and overall gave him quite the strong ground several times throughout this match. It's been a nicely executed here strategy from Sage of the 6, a less well executed strategy here from Godisanastronaut, to be honest. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. Hope it gave you some ideas to play or not to play. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and see you all tomorrow.